All right, buckle up because in the next few minutes, we're going to unlock an absolute superpower using Python and a library called BeautifulSoup to automatically gather data from pretty much anywhere on the web. Let's dive in. Just think about it for a second. Imagine you need product prices from a dozen different websites, or maybe the latest headlines from all the top news sources. Instead of spending hours and hours copying and pasting, what if you could just run a script and have it all done for you? Well, that incredible idea. That's exactly what web scraping is. It is the key to turning the vast, kind of messy internet into your own personal, structured, and organized database. Okay, so let's start with the big picture here. Why is this such a game-changing skill to have in your back pocket? At its core, really, this is all about automation. Using code to handle all those repetitive, boring tasks for you. Think about organizing thousands of files or generating daily reports. It's about letting the machine do all the tedious work for you, so you can focus on the interesting stuff. And web scraping is a really special, and I mean really powerful kind of automation. It has one laser-focused job: to programmatically pull specific pieces of information directly from websites, which can save you an unbelievable amount of manual effort. Now, to pull this off, every good data detective needs a magnifying glass, right? For us, that tool is a fantastic Python library called BeautifulSoup. So what does it do? Well, at its core, BeautifulSoup is designed to parse, which is just a fancy word for making sense of, the HTML and XML code that builds every single web page. It takes that jumbled mess of code and turns it into something we can actually understand and work with. And here's kind of how it works its magic. It takes that raw HTML and organizes it into a nice, logical tree. From there, you can search for specific things, like a headline tag or an attribute, like a product's price. And the best part? It integrates perfectly with another library called requests, which is what we use to actually grab the web page in the first place. So how does this actually work in practice? Well, it's a super simple, repeatable four-step process. I like to think of it as a little data heist. You fetch, you parse, you find, and you extract. Yep, these 4 steps, they are the heart and soul of pretty much any web scraping project you'll ever do. Once you get this flow down, you can apply it to almost any website out there. So let's break them down one by one. Okay, first things first, you can't analyze what you don't have, right? So step 1 is simply telling our script to go to a URL and download all the raw HTML source code. It's the exact same thing your browser does behind the scenes every time you visit a site. And get this, look how ridiculously simple the code is. With that requests library I mentioned, fetching an entire page takes just 1 line. You give it a URL, and boom, it brings back all the content. Okay. So we have the raw HTML. Now we need to make it useful. And this is where our star player, BeautifulSoup, steps onto the stage. It takes that big block of text and transforms it into a structured, searchable object, kind of like a map of the entire web page. And again, the code is incredibly straightforward. We just feed the HTML we fetched into BeautifulSoup and tell it to use the standard HTML.parser. What we get back is what we call a soup object. That's our data detective's magnifying glass, all polished up and ready to go. Now for the fun part. With our parsed soup object, we can finally start searching. We can tell the script exactly what to look for, whether it's the title of an article, the price of a product, or a specific list of links. We can pinpoint it. And this is a really key distinction to understand. If you just need the first headline you see, you use find. But what if you need every single product on a page? Well, for that, you use find all. This gives you a whole list of all the matching items, which you can then loop through to get the data from each one. It's incredibly flexible. We found the HTML tags containing our data. The final step is just to extract the clean, usable information from inside those tags. Getting just the text of a product name or the value from a price tag without any of the code. And here it is, the payoff. After all that fetching, parsing, finding, and extracting, you're left with clean, structured data just like this. You've turned a messy web page into a neat table that you can save to a file, analyze, or use in any way you want. It's so satisfying. But hold on, before you go out and start scraping the entire internet, we've got to talk about something important. Because with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's crucial that we gather this data in a way that's smart, safe, and respectful to the websites we're visiting. So think of these as the rules of the road. Always check a site's robots.txt file. It's their rulebook for what you can automate. Don't hammer their server with rapid-fire requests. Add small delays. It's also good practice to use headers to identify your script. And finally, write your code to handle errors, because websites are always changing. Being a good web citizen ensures your scripts run smoothly and don't get you blocked. So if you remember just one thing, let it be this. This is the entire process in a nutshell. Fetch the page, parse it with BeautifulSoup, extract the data you need, and then store it. That is the whole game. And that's the real takeaway here. This isn't just about code. It's a completely new way of looking at the web. You now have a framework to unlock the data that's hidden inside any web page and put it to work for you. The possibilities are truly endless, from market research to personal projects to academic studies. So the only question left is, with this key in your hand, what data will you unlock first?